It's wonderful to have you all here. Last year, if you recall, the last 2 years we did this on Zoom, so I think this is just a mild improvement. It's a beautiful day out there, so it must be a sign of times to come for our graduates. So welcome all to the 2022 CED Graduation Convocation. Thank you again for being here to celebrate all of the graduating students of all academic programs in the College of Environment and Design. First, I would like to draw attention to my esteemed colleagues who are here, starting with the Associate Dean, Professor Ashley Stephens, who has done so much for the college over the last 2 years, including in the very challenging last year. Also, I'd like to ask the faculty and the program coordinators to stand up. Who've done such a marvelous job, and of course, equally importantly, all our staff who have supported our students and the faculty in their many academic successes, and also who planned this ceremony. So could the staff please rise so we can give them a very robust thank you. All right, well, it's been an interesting year, but I think it's a great year to graduate. And not just because it appears that it is a wonderful year to land a job, aside from the practical side, and I know many anecdotal stories already. Many of our graduates already have these first jobs, and as we always do, about 95% of our graduates land a job within the professions and not at Starbucks within the first 6 months. So this is actually one of our most successful metrics. So it's a great year to graduate, to get a job, but it's also a great year to graduate because it's a challenging year. The world, perhaps you've noticed, has many and serious problems, and I think you're the ones who can solve them. If you can't do it, who can? The ghost of COVID is still lurking, and it has very specific consequences for the physical makeup of our communities. I think most of us until 2 years ago would associate contagious diseases with 100-year-old black and white photographs from industrial cities in the United States. How little did we know that the past was not exactly past. So how to design places better so that we can all be healthier? The last 2 years have brought to a very intense focus, many things that were going on already, and we as designers, planners, and preservationists have a lot to say. For example, it's an empirical fact that more and more people are probably never going to go back physically to work, to their old office. More people will work from home. People are already shopping at home for many years. So what would that mean for the future of our communities? Will more people move out of the city? What would that mean for urban planners? What would that mean for preserving the historic heritage of these important cities? What are the implications for design and landscape architecture? Environmental problems today remain as big as they ever were, and it's clear that the sciences alone will not solve them. We need design and planning and preservation to think spatially and creatively. Everyone knows that we're having a huge housing crisis at the moment. Prices are going up and up. And we as planners and built environment professionals have a special responsibility to actually help this crisis get solved. So there are many examples, and I won't bore you with a long list. But the point is that our graduates are educated to turn these problems into opportunities. You, as our new alums, are the ones that can shape space and place, and thus bear the heavy responsibility of making the world, put simply, a better place to be, both for the people and for the planet. So yeah, the world may have big problems, but you are bigger. You have probably received the best education that you can possibly receive in this country in the disciplines of your choice. So I think you're simply too big to fail. And even if you do on occasion, failure is just a small step towards your bigger success. So I want you to remember that you are now the big dog. So go dogs. Today we are proud to welcome Lawliss as our commencement keynote speaker. Lucy is a two-time graduate of our College of Environment and Design. She earned her BLA in 1979 and her MLA with a Historic Preservation Certificate in 1992. After several years in the Atlanta private sector, Lucy found her niche with the National Park Service, where she had had a 25-year-long career focusing on historical parks and cultural landscapes, and she served as the chief of the Cultural Landscape Program for the Southeast region. She became a nationally celebrated leader in the inventory, evaluation, and preservation and maintenance of historic landscapes. During her career, she has published 2 books and earned numerous awards and honors. She was named Fellow of the American Society of Landscape Architects, served as the publications committee chair for the National Association of Olmsted Parks, and this, I'm sure you know, is the 200-year celebration of Olmsted's birthday. And she received the American Society of Landscape Architecture Georgia Chapter Merit Award, the Georgia Women in Preservation Award, and the CED Alumni Association Distinguished Alumni Award. She currently serves as a member of our Dean's Advisory Council, and we are very grateful for continued commitment to our community, and we're delighted to have her speak here to and with the graduates today. So please join me in welcoming to the podium Ms. Lucy Lawliss.
Well, thank you, Dean Hurt, for such a lovely introduction, and I am so honored to be with you here today to say a few words at this spring 2022 convocation ceremony for the College of the Environment and Design. So first let me say congratulations, well done all, you've made it. Your busy lives will not be the same after today, and I want you to take a few moments to take a deep breath and revel in something that many students start and never finish. And I know many of you have high school students who never even got a chance to get started on what you have done. To come to a world-class university with a stellar faculty, dean, and a campus of resources at your fingertips. I mean, it's just unbelievable to see what Athens and the University of Georgia has done since I was here as a student, and I thought I was outstanding in the 1970s, so to be here in 2022 is just, it's remarkable. And I hope that you got up this morning and looked in the mirror and patted yourself on the back and said, well done, friend, because you have each done something remarkable. You are about to take your degree, and even though you will receive a diploma this week from the university, no one is really giving you anything. What you have learned and experienced in the last few years is something that you have earned, and you are taking something away that is personal and unique. From this amazing university of opportunities and experiences, you have pursued your own distinct path of study. And what you have done here and what you will do going forward is yours and for our benefit. And for those of you who've returned to university for a graduate degree, to both focus and expand your understanding of landscape architecture, historic preservation, urban planning, and even those getting a PhD in environmental design and planning, congratulations with a star for stepping away from income and lives that you were enjoying to take the time to re-energize and refocus your study for work that you have chosen to pursue. Thank you. I just want to stop a second because I want each of you to turn to your fellow student and I want you to say, congratulations, well done, we did it. So while you do that, I want you to say to everyone around you. And while you do that, absolutely, I want to give a shout out, as Dean Hurt did. We did not coordinate our comments, but I want to shout out to all the parents, family, friends, faculty, and staff who have seen you through these last few years. And you can't do it now, but when you see them after the program, give them a big hug, because without them, this day of celebration would not be possible, and certainly not as much fun. So shout out to all of you who made this happen for all these students. So it's fabulous. And doing this is so important because all of these friends and classmates that you have known for the last several years, both in person and on Zoom, are now your community of professional colleagues. And if each of you commits to staying in touch, to coming back to Athens for the important continuing education programs the university supports for your professional development, and joining and re-upping your professional memberships in organizations that exist for all of you, you will be on the way to having what is most important as you move forward into the working world: connections. And over the many months since Dean Hurd asked me to speak to you this morning, when I was thinking and feeling shocked and like, oh, why am I going to be here? I said that you will know that feeling, same thing, someday when you've retired. I turned many ideas over my head, and for some reason, C words kept coming up to me. Some of them I've already used: congratulations, college, colleagues, connections, community, and commitment. And there is a thread through and among those words that are very important as you go forward. Because after you finish congratulating yourselves and others who are with you at this college, and this whole new set of colleagues and connections you already have here and will be making every day as you go forward, you are building that community that will sustain you and your health and well-being for the rest of your life. And if you commit to nurturing yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues, you will make a better world. And now I'm going to say one more C word, and I only say it because it makes what you've done here that much more remarkable: COVID. I confirm that this is the first in-person convocation since the pandemic, and only because your college, your dean, your outstanding faculty and staff, that you as a group with your parents and friends were able to pivot and find a whole new way to share your ideas and learn in an entirely new and creative way, that you have reshaped your personal and professional lives as a result. And you did that all before you graduated. So what does that tell me about you? And what should that tell you about your college and your community? That you are wonderfully creative, resilient, and adaptable. And from my experience, I see these as being the most important concepts that you will take away from this place. Turn over here. You can feel prepared and tested, and all of you have passed that test. With all of the life-changing frustrations and losses that occurred over the last few years, all the wonderful social and community events that were here at this college to have happened that were either canceled or Zoomed, you have gained fabulous experiences that will help you think, shape, and design a post-pandemic world for all of us. And it was a world that already had its challenges. So that brings me to one more C word: confidence. You now have self-confidence and a community of thoughtful and committed colleagues. And with that, you can set out to accomplish anything that you put in front of yourself. So go do it. I want to see you all back here this fall for an alumni tailgate at Founders Memorial Garden, sharing the experiences that you've seen, done, and accomplished. And I want you to share all the wins and the losses. Because if you don't make a lot of mistakes early on, you will be too important, and as Dean Hurd said too big to fail. From death comes life. From failure comes success. From all this so important sharing and giving back, more will come to you than you can ever give. Like every event, personal or worldwide, there is no going back to a pre-event time. There is no do-over for the pandemic. And while that may seem a little scary to some of those people graduating around the university here today and during the week, you all are taking degrees that uniquely prepare you for this new world. We need more professionals like you who honor and save our built history. We need more people who can name and know the value of our native and non-native plants and how to protect and use them for all of their shared benefits. We need more people who understand the human layering of our environment and how to work with these layers and stories to build a better, healthier next layer of life. Because if there's one thing that comes out of these past 2 years, we all have a renewed and value and love for the outdoor environment. From our home places, which for many of us have become our new workplace, to our shared public spaces, we want and need all the health benefits, mental, physical, and spiritual, that touching nature in our daily lives provides. So today, resolve to bring the best of your College of the Environment and Design training and experience to your next home, social groups, and workplace. Share what you have learned. Bring your family and friends to investigate the places and landscapes that give your life meaning and purpose. And go investigate those places with your family and friends to understand their wants and needs. Continue to be excited and challenged by the history and culture that shapes our communities, our state, and our country. Continue to look, think, and shape the world we live in with your creative ideas, your words, your plans, your developments. In conclusion, it won't surprise you that I'm going to say something about someone that has been very important to me in my professional and personal life. Frederick Law Olmsted. So we're both from Connecticut, and he is the founder of the profession I chose, and was the first program at this college, which is now more than a 90-year history of teaching landscape architecture on this campus. So it's very interesting. And I know that there still is an exhibit up in the Circle Gallery, if you haven't seen it, for this bicentennial year of Olmsted's birth that really says a lot about his life and career and the many positive impacts he had at an equally challenging time in history. Frederick Law Olmsted knew personally the horrors of war. He experienced the American Civil War. He saw firsthand the challenges of immigration, the desperate famine Irish of the 1840s who arrived by the thousands to our eastern cities without any preparation for who these people were. And it was shocking to me as someone of Irish background. My family came in 1928. But to find out that those Irish didn't even speak English, that was really a shock to me. And that he also knew firsthand the desperate situation of worldwide diseases, tuberculosis and typhoid, just to name few, which took the lives of his brother and family members and many of his personal and professional friends and in various communities. And what was his response to that? Public parks. It is his most important legacy, and while he and the professionals who worked for him went on to design many of the landscapes we still study as examples for our contemporary work, urban and suburban communities, campuses, public and commercial grounds, Olmsted will always be remembered for the transforming power of public parks. So to finish, I want to leave you with one more C word that Olmsted coined: communicativeness. It's a special word, and one that I would like you to think about in the days to year to come, because I think it has a meaning for our times too. Laura Wood Roper, Olmsted's first and best biographer, wrote that Olmsted's far-sighted moves to humanize the physical environment of cities and to secure precious scenic reservations for the use and enjoyment of all people constituted a heroic undertaking, and that the peculiar ideal that motivated his work was not catchy. I think we can all agree that communicativeness is not a catchy word, but it is one that appeals to lofty ideals. For Olmsted, according to Roper, communicativeness involved recognizing and acting consistently on the recognition that we all have an essential community of interest with other human beings, regardless of regional, class, economic, color, religious, or whatever differences. Communicativeness had no room for narrow self-interest, whether of individuals or groups or classes. To quote Roper, as an ideal, it was Christian, democratic, and utopian, something between a will-o'-the-wisp and the last best hope of Earth. So I'm going to ask you to reinvigorate the idea of communicativeness, or I want you to coin your own word for the same ideals in the 21st century. This is now your day, your world, and you are our next best hope. So thank you.
Thank you, Lucy, for this beautiful speech. I hope you were all paying attention because you don't know what year I'll call you to be the commencement speaker.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a big gift you have to carry.
I love it. Thank you. My goodness.
All right. All right, well, now the games will begin and everyone will get their gift. So we would like to extend our congratulations to all the candidates, first of all, who were unable, and their families and friends who were unable to physically be present today. And I would also like to ask you to hold your applause until the end of each degree program. So again, thank you for being here, both students or now alums and families and friends. And we will start the professional with Professor Rosanna Rivero, who is representing the PhD program.
Hello, my name is Rosanna Rivero, and I had been in the charge of the PhD program for about 1 year and a half. Difficult times to start being coordinator. I'm very proud of the students that we are presenting today, or that we are graduating today, because some of you may know a PhD program is a long-term commitment. These students have been with us at least around 5-6 years. It's a very hard work, not only for the students, but for the advisors, for the committee members, and for everybody that surrounds them. So I'm also very grateful for the person that had the vision to create this program, Dean Dan Nadenichek, because he really, had the vision, I guess, to create a program that inspired all of us, that bring new knowledge and new contributions to the program. So with that, I wanted to start announcing our students. So our first student is Lynn Abdoni. Over there.
Thank you. I'm the first one and I'm the most awkward one.
Yes, all right. Here we are.
Keep in mind that we haven't done this.
Done. Okay. Next.
Our second graduated is Manasi Parki. And our third is Micah Taylor. And we have one fourth person that is not with us today, Nasim Resvanpour, so an applause for her, even though she's not here. And with that, I want to leave Umit Yilmaz in charge of the MUPD.
And all three PhDs, all four got jobs before even the official diploma, so 100% success rate.
Hello, I'm Ümit Yılmaz. I'm the coordinator of Master of Urban Planning and Design program. I would like to recognize and congratulate our students graduating this year and their family and parents and friends. I'm going to invite them to the podium. Philip Jones. Tristan King. Cemre Nural. Michael Clutter. Melissa Ward. Juniper Hens. Ali Rıza Necafi. Diamond Darland. And I'm going to hand it out to Professor James Tripp to introduce the MHP program.
Good morning. I'm James Reap. I'm the coordinator of the Historic Preservation Program here in the college. And CED's preservation program began as a modest course of study when landscape professor John Waters created it in the 1970s. Today, our program is more well-rounded, consisting of a number of historic preservation courses covering an even greater area of study. Our students emerge from our program more ready to shape the world than ever before. In addition to the Master of Historic Preservation degree, which we are recognizing today, we offer graduate certificates in cultural landscape and in historic preservation, an undergraduate certificate in historic preservation, and a minor. We have 5 double dog programs in which undergraduate majors in history, classics, anthropology, and landscape architecture can earn both an undergraduate degree and an MHP in 5 years. Preservation comprises several professional disciplines, and our faculty alone are represented historic preservation, landscape architecture, architectural history, law, and planning. Today's graduates join a distinguished group of alumni throughout the United States and abroad, working in all levels of government, the private sector, local, state, and national nonprofits, and in academia. We're confident that these latest graduates will make their mark in a discipline that seeks to conserve the best of our past while developing a dynamic and sustainable future. My colleagues in the historic preservation join me in congratulating our newest MHP graduates. Catherine Mitchell, congratulations. David Riddle, congratulations as well. And one of our graduates could not be with us today, Katie Toomey. And I'd like to introduce Brad Davis, the coordinator of the MLA program.
Good morning. It's good to be with you. I hope you're enjoying being here. I'm kind of a ceremony geek. I like ceremonies, so I hope you do too, because it means a lot. A little bit about the MLA program. The MLA program was initiated in 1954, approximately 25 years or so after the BLA, and both programs today are among the largest and oldest in the country. I think one of the hallmarks of both programs here at UGA is the commitment to prepare students for practice. So at the core of our curriculum is a real intentional move to prepare people to do things like grading and drainage plans, planting plans, master planning, and master plans that hopefully work. So I'm proud of that, and our alumni and employers across the country know that and they recognize that. And I think the fact that most of our students have had jobs since maybe February speaks to that. We are always so proud of our graduates, and we really do celebrate with you today and your family and friends who are here. So first, I'd like to welcome our spring graduates. And so these are folks who have crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's in time to officially graduate in spring. And maybe what you don't realize is that within these names here are a few students on different tracks. We have a 3-year track for students who are coming to landscape architecture from a totally different background. So these are folks who have discovered landscape architecture, maybe after business or music or English or any number of degrees. And so it's really it's quite a transformation to learn a professional degree in just 3 years. So it's something really to be proud of. We also have some 2-year track folks who are coming in from a design background. So they got a little bit of a leg up. They get a year off of their education because of that. And they do some remarkable things because of their kind of advanced standing from the beginning. We have even a third category. We have a couple of double dog students in the mix. This is a relatively new program at the University of Georgia. And these are folks who get accepted, apply, and get accepted to do a kind of a fast track program to begin graduate study in their last year as an undergraduate. And so they kind of mix undergrad and grad together and then have one final year as a graduate student. With that, I'll begin to announce the names. And you guys go slow and enjoy your moment in the sun here because you deserve it. So Elizabeth Crimmins. Elizabeth's a 3-year track student. Maxwell Dusenberry, 3-year track student. Reed Ferrero. He's like a 4th category. BLA plus MLA, no. Michael Hands, double dog. And Kayla Joyner, 2-year track student. Oops. I'm going to drop all these cards. And now I'm going to switch gears a little bit to summer. It's not a big difference. It's just a matter of timing of the defense. A lot of these folks have actually already defended their theses in just the last week or two. And that technically puts them on the summer calendar of graduation, but it's not a very large difference. And so Alina Gropstein, 3-year track student. Andrew Peterson, 3-year track. Christopher Roby, 3-year track. Anna Shoji, 3-year track. And Patricia Stoop, 3-year track. Congratulations, MLAs. And I'm a microphone hog. A couple of tips for you as you go forward, if you can even listen. Give yourself, you're on a new track now, right? Like you're graduating, but you're hopping on a new venture into practice. Give yourself a couple of big 1-year goals, a couple of big 2-year goals. Maybe it's to become facile in software programs in the office. And maybe one other thing is to really work on your social and your soft skills. Put yourself out there. Some of you are probably naturals at that. Others have to work at it more. But don't wait for other people to reach out to you. Pick up the phone, go to lunch with somebody. Take on responsibility in the office. Don't just wait for it to be handed to you. And it'll get noticed and you'll grow a lot faster. All right, that's it. I failed to introduce my great colleague, Ron Sawhill, the director of the BLA program.
So as Brad was kind of giving the history of the MLA program, the BLA program began in 1928. So we're fast coming up on our centennial, which is exciting. The graduates for the BLA this year, of course, have not only persevered through COVID, which threw all sorts of wrenches into the works, but they've engaged in a bunch of community service projects over those years, providing service to a number of communities here in Georgia. Prior to COVID, they were involved in producing the LA Bash conference in 2019 here at the university, and they had like 400 students there from around the country. They've won national awards for planning and design, and several of them will continue on to do their double dogs in Master of Urban Planning and Design or Master of Landscape Architecture. So I certainly want to congratulate each of these students for all that they've accomplished over this time and wish them very best in profession. It's an interesting change from the profession, or from the academia to the profession. And I remember the kind of the surprise, I guess, of suddenly moving from the whole schedule at school to the schedule in the profession working, and it takes a little while to adjust to that. So give yourself a little time as you do that, as Brad was kind of sharing. All right, our graduates for this year. Again, Margaret Apperson. Christopher Bilson. Madeline Kennebrew. Adolfo Martinez. Ann Pace. Megan Pipe. Carlin Roper. Catherine Sheen. Jeremy Smith. Sally Smith. Blakely Watts. And Joel Sherrill. With that concludes the graduates from the BLA program for 2022.
All right. Well, thank you again, first the friends and the family, and of course the students and the faculty and the staff. It's a, you know, what an opportunity to start a new chapter for the graduates. You know, now you'll have to begin paying your student loans, and you'll be able to get a mortgage, and generally welcome to adulthood. I'd like all of you to stand and turn around and salute your parents or guardians and families and friends and give them a big round of applause. So all the all the students who graduated become automatically part of our alumni association. So in the spirit of what Lucy was saying is the magic word communicativeness. We expect you to stay connected with us for many years to come. And you know, it's never too early to begin saving for paying the tuition of your children, so they too can join our community and become big dogs. And in case you are not going to invest in that, if you save the money, we expect you to make a donation. So one way or the other, we're gonna win. And you already did. So thank you again, and please join us at the Founders Garden for a reception in your honor. Thank you again, all of you.